So today we are going to start week 2 of daily geography. We have our map information on this page. This picture shows a globe of the earth that's called a sphere. And it shows that the earth turns in this direction, and it shows an imaginary line that kind of goes through the center. This isn't supposed to be on the surface. This is the center, like the axle of a wagon or a car, and that's what the world turns on. It says a globe shows how the earth rotates on an imaginary center line called an axis. So axis is a vocabulary word that we need to know for this week. The second picture says North Pole, South Pole. Remember, those aren't really poles. I used to imagine that there was a big flagpole sticking out. They aren't actually there. And then we have the northern hemisphere. Hemisphere, hemi means half. So half a sphere, if I could take a knife and cut it across here, so I'd have the top half of our Earth. That's called a hemisphere. And the southern hemisphere, the bottom half of our Earth, southern half a sphere. And then we have the equator that's splitting the two. A globe shows an imaginary line called the equator. The equator runs around the center of the Earth. It's kind of like a belt. The equator is located at 0 degrees latitude. The equator divides the Earth into the northern and southern hemispheres. Over here, we have again the North Pole and the South Pole. We have the western hemisphere, meaning now we're going to split it down the center this direction. We'll have the western hemisphere and the eastern hemisphere. The prime meridian is the imaginary line that splits it that way. A globe shows an imaginary line called the prime meridian. The prime meridian runs from the North Pole to the South Pole. The prime meridian is located at 0 degrees longitude. The prime meridian helps to create the western and eastern hemispheres. So now we get to our questions. Question number 1. Why is a globe more accurate than a flat map to represent the Earth's surface? You see, if the Earth was actually flat, a flat map would be perfect. But since the Earth is a sphere, we need to think of it kind of like a balloon. If I blew up a balloon and draw a picture of the world on it, and then I popped that balloon and tried to spread it out flat, what would happen to all those surfaces, especially those surfaces up here at the top and down here at the bottom? If you'd like a little bit more clarification on that, you could go into guided readers and look up the book Maps and Globes. It gives more information about what happens when we try to flatten something that's round. Number 2, what is the name of the imaginary line on which the Earth rotates? Now they're talking about something drawn on the surface. They're talking about what goes right through the center, straight line from the North Pole to the South Pole. That's kind of like the axle that spins our world. And it is, the vocabulary word is right here in this information. I'll see you tomorrow.